Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video, this time for the Tier 5 European Tech Tree, but currently premium-ish early access battleship, the Tegetthoff. Tegetthoff? I can't read that. I told myself I would try to get through a whole video without making a Hassel the Hoff joke, but I can't do it, especially with the extra T. My brain, it looks like Teget the Hoff, and then immediately I'm like, anyone of a certain age knows exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, the Tegetthoff, the T, I'll call it the T. I'll pull it jingles and just I'll call it Dave. No, the Teget, the Tegetthoff, we'll call it the Tegetthoff. Anyway, is it a good ship? Yeah, it's a good ship. I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think they broke anything at Tier 5 with this ship, but it's a good ship. I've been playing lately some ships and saying some things about how I prefer ships that are more flexible and are kind of jack of all trades. And to me, that's the Tegetthoff. It's got some good traits. It's got some less good traits, but the overall feeling, and granted, this is just one game, right? But it felt like I had tools at my disposal for every situation I was in. It felt like I always had something to do. The first thing, and I know I've been like a broken record, but it's just because it's great, is right now, I don't know if it's still the Yavuz Tegetthoff effect. I mean, there's actually not, there any, there's one on the enemy team, and there's one other Tegetthoff on my team. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I don't know if that's it or what, but like, this is a Tier 5 game, and it's full of players. There's no bots, which is great. I mean, it's just so much more fun, right? Not that there isn't something to shooting a bunch of bots, but this is better. I'm going to do a lot of damage in this game and have some battle impact. I think, you know, some pretty good battle impact. And it feels like it's just because I got to fire so many shells so frequently at so many targets. I mean, the first thing to like about the Tegetthoff is even though the dispersion is bad, you get a lot of shells and you fire them relatively often, especially for Tier 5. So you get 12 shells that are, you know, okayishly easy to all get on target, although the angles, you have to show an uncomfortable amount of broadside. But, you know, if you're willing to show an uncomfortable amount of broadside, you get 12 shells every 27 seconds. And so it winds up feeling pretty good. Like, you get a lot of chances to do damage. The shells are okay. You know, when the AP shells, I mean, like, when you have the right position on someone broadside and you get lucky and the shell lands in the right spot, you do pretty good damage. And when those things don't happen, you don't do pretty good damage, which is good. That's appropriate. I mean, that's how the game should work, right? This force bite is going to angle to me, and then I'm going to get 4 ricochets, which is good. I should get 4 ricochets. I mean, that's the point of angling, right? I got to switch to the HE if I want to hurt that war spite at this range, at that angle. The Tegetthoff has torpedoes, which is funky. I mean, I guess there are more battleships down here that have torpedoes than I realized, but still, it still feels a little weird. And the angles are odd. Like, it has these 4 single launchers, and they're at the 4 corners of the ship, kind of. But that doesn't mean they're bad. I mean, they go to 8 kilometers. They're a little slow, but they do some pretty serious damage. You're going to see them come in super handy for one of my teammates. I'm not going to fire them very often in this game, and that's honestly because I just forget when I'm in a battleship to think about torpedoes. Plus, I rarely get that close. I mean, one thing to like about the Tegetthoff is the range is really good for Tier 5. It's 16.6 kilometers. Now, I don't know how much of that is usable range because the dispersion isn't great, but at least you have something you can do at those ranges. The speed is bad. It's slow, but it gets this fun, modern World of Warships, you choose when to use it style speed boost, which I don't know how to feel about. I guess it's fine. I mean, it's a funny thing because it's an interesting thing in game design. Like, it feels like it should always be better to have more choice. I mean, the essence of this speed boost is you get to pick when to use it and when to turn it off, which in theory should be better. But you just don't get that much of it. That's the trade-off. Like you only get 1 minute and 30 seconds total for the whole game. And so it winds up feeling a little bit weak. Like it's not tremendously impactful because honestly, it takes a while for a battleship to even get up to speed. Like I'm going to use it right here because I want to try and catch this Oklahoma, but I'm not going to catch this Oklahoma. I mean, part of the problem is this ship is so slow that even with the speed boost active, it's still pretty slow, right? Just especially because I have to make a turn in the middle of the speed boost. And so like, I don't think I'm going to get up above 21, 22 knots, and I'm not going to catch that Oklahoma. He's going to go behind the island. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that the speed boost is the best part of the ship, but it's just a good, solid tier 5 battleship. I mean, is it as good as like the Julio Cesar? No, it's not. I don't think. I'd have to play a few more games, I guess. But however, I mean, that was pretty juicy salvo right there. I mean, I got in some nice juicy salvos when people were broadside to me and I was reasonably close. But I mean, of course, that's how battleships work. And here you see the downside maybe of the ship. I mean, the armor's not bad. When I went and looked at the armor in the armor display, it actually looked pretty good. But I think the problem is it has some weak points. I mean, I guess all battleships do, so that's not surprising. So I wouldn't say the armor's bad, but it's average. If people know where to aim, there's some weak spots in the bow and the stern where there's only 19 millimeters of plating, and it's really easy to get a shell through. And that happens to me a couple times in this game. Like you can't count on the armor. If people get lucky or they're close or they know where to aim, you're going to be toast. But again, I mean, from a game design perspective, that's how it should be, right? I mean, that's good game design. That makes sense to me. You'll see me using the speed boost. I don't know if it's working, but I'm trying to use the speed boosts to accelerate my turns, actually. You know, the theory being that you can speed through the turn and that you'll turn faster. Because I want to, in this case, I want to make sure that the Bayern doesn't get broadside shot on me. I'm a little worried about him. Of course, I switched to the HE because I thought he was going to stay turned away. And then as soon as I switch to HE, he turns into me. So then I'm going to switch to the AP, and he is going to turn into me. So yeah, not going to predict this one terribly well. But you know, it's not always about you. You got to give your opponent credit. Like he knows what he's doing, but he's a little too broadside here. I can't remember if this salvo works out. Yeah, no. Yeah, so I mean, the shells are good, but not amazing. The ship is good. The armor's good, but not amazing. The speed is, a little sad, but you get this boost. So the overall feeling, at least in this one game, is of a capable, not overpowered, but capable, fun. Yeah, right. Capable, fun, serious, maybe even competitive battleship that, especially against players, is a pretty versatile tool. That's the feeling I got. I'd have to play some more games, but yeah, I can see why people like it. It feels fair, but it feels good and fun. I really think, and PQ, Potato Quality, always talks about the volume of shells. Like, it makes a big difference, right? So from a game feel standpoint, like, if I have bad dispersion but I have a lot of shells, that still increases the chance that I'm going to get at least a couple shells, even just one good shell. The thing that feels really bad is when you shoot your full salvo and everything misses. That feels super bad, and that can happen with like 6 shell. Ooh, yeah. So I think that's the 19 millimeter section in the bow that guy hit, and he just absolutely wrecked me. That felt like it was maybe even 2 citadels. So yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, I got 85,000 damage in this game, and I'm not dead yet. Still ticking. So, I think it's one of those ships that, if played correctly and facing the right situations, it can be really effective, and that's good. That's what you want. That's balanced game design. I mean, players might want overpowered ships with amazing world-beating guns, but that doesn't make for a fun game. Like, this is more fun for the enemy because from their point of view, like now that I've played the Tegetthoff especially, and I understand what it's about, if I ever face one, I feel like I now understand, I have the tools to do something about it. I might not be able to pull it off. I might not have the skill. He might dodge, whatever, but like, I don't feel like it's invincible, I know what I'm supposed to do. It's a good game too. Felt like we were winning, then felt like we were losing. Then we were winning again. Now it feels like we're back to losing, but the problem for the Reds is, again, as always, positioning. They will never get the C cap. That will take the rest of the game, which means that they're on a pretty tight clock to win this game, right? They'd have to sink all three of us, and they're going to sink me. That's not hard. But like that Piotr Veliki, Peter the Great over there, honestly, if he was smart, I think at this point, he would just sail to A10. I mean, that might be the boring way to play, but I think we would win the game because they can't stop C from ticking. I don't even think they can get all the way across the map. Maybe. I mean, they have 7 minutes, so maybe. But that's going to be tough. Yeah, I think I'm finally done here. Just too many people shooting at me. Too much weak armor in the stern. But, I got my damage in up to 115,000. I think I get one more salvo here. So I turn broadside and accept my fate. Yeah, so 121,000 damage at tier 5 in a battleship is pretty sweet. And to add sweetness to the mix, this is a victory. We win this game. This last Tegetthoff played pretty well. He knew the assignment and he pulled it off. He probably could have sunk both those remaining ships. They were very low HP, but the thing is, he doesn't have to, right? That's how the game works. So anyway, that's the Tegetthoff. Seems like a good ship. Good game design on Wargaming's part. Nothing too crazy, but a solid all-around good tier 5 battleship as far as I can tell after one game. So that's it for this one, and I will see you guys in the next video.